Hi there everyone, it's Logan from Abby Cat Daddy, the Feline Advocate Society, as the founder and Abby Cat Daddy. I am right now currently in my bathroom where I have 3 special babies that I have been posting about for the last little bit of doing on social media. And that's Pothos, Athos, and Aramis, the 3 musketeers. And today's video is going to be about the importance of keeping an eye on poop. All about poop. We love poop. Poop or fecal matter, it tells us a lot about different issues that are going on inside your foster kitten or foster cat or even your resident cat. It tells us a lot about their inner health and what's going on inside of them. And a lot of fosters take a while to get used to talking about poop every day, but it is very important, and this litter is a prime example of why it's so important to talk about fecal scoring, fecal output, and how it can help not only your kittens but also your foster experience. So this litter I've had since they were about 2.5 to 3 weeks old. They were found outside abandoned by their mom. A local community member saw them in the bushes along with a 4th litter mate and waited a few hours before pulling them inside after mom had not returned. It has been determined that the mother most likely was hit by a car, so I'm very thankful that these kittens were brought into our care as fast as they were, because they would not have made it without a mother and a food source, especially at 2.5 weeks old. Now they are about 5 weeks old, 5.5 weeks old, so they've gained lots. They've nearly doubled in size, but this whole time they've had some not so great poops. A lot of it has been diarrhea, and it's been a little bit concerning, but a lot of times kittens have diarrhea, so it's not unusual. But that being said, putting them on formula probiotics and deworming them and still continuously having poor fecal samples and then suddenly having blood in them last week had me a little bit concerned. So we did an extended deworming process to make sure that we were treating for Giardia, if that was the case, or if there was any residual worms. They got better for a few days, and then they suddenly started having diarrhea again. So I sent a fecal sample, literally just took poop out of the litter box and sent it to my clinic. I'm so sorry for them having to deal with the literal poop, because it stinks. Because it's diarrhea and they're sick, it stinks. And today the sample came back, so we got results pretty quickly actually, and they have coccidia. Yeah, this little baby has coccidia. What is coccidia? It is horrible. No, it is a parasite. I'm pretty sure it's called a parasitical infection. It's not a worm like other things that we treat for regularly, but it is transmissible between fecal matter. So, which is why it's really important for fosters, or when you're introducing a new cat to your household, that you quarantine them and you slowly transition them into the household, because you don't know what you're going to get. Because if let's say I had my cat sharing the litter box with them and he stepped in and groomed himself, he would ingest the parasite, the coccidia, and he himself would have them. That being said, older cats, especially if they have a solid immune system, don't tend to have bad outbreaks with it. It's really common or more worrisome in kittens, as they have not been vaccinated, so they don't really have a big immune system. Not that you can vaccinate against coccidia, but their immune system haven't developed yet. They only have their mother's colostrum that helped them build their immune system at the time, and they have not yet been vaccinated, especially with them not being so good with their fecal matter. So this one is Aramis. Can you say hi, Aramis? No, you're just like, I want to go play with my siblings. I'll let you So today we're doing that. So we are now putting them on a antibacterial medication starting tonight. I'm just waiting for a friend of mine who works at the clinic to drop it off so that we can start that. But because they are so little, I have to like break the pills into like eighths and crush it and get into their bodies. But like, just look at this kitten. You would not know if I had not looked at the litter box and if I didn't pay attention, that this kitten wasn't doing well. And that being said, a couple weeks ago, I think actually a week or two ago now, I had posted about this kitten because Ethos was crashing and we had to do sugar water to bring him back up so he would bounce back. And it took about a day or two before he was acting normal. And he actually is about 30 to 40% lighter than his litter mates. So he's about 380 grams currently. Sorry, buddy. And this was last night's weight. I haven't weighed them yet today. I was ate those. Aramis here was only about 450 grams. And their sister, Pothos, is the chunky one at 500 grams, which is the proper weight for this age group, which makes me very happy. Yes, nice and chunky. And so they have completely come off their formula and they're now strictly on wet food and probiotics. Probiotics to help rebuild the gut flora, especially because once the antibacterial comes through, it's going to remove a lot of the harmful bacteria or the positive bacteria that we want to have in that digestive system. That helps with their immune system, it helps with everything. A big problem that comes with Coccidia and other parasites is that they actually remove some of the nutrition or prevent the nutrition being absorbed into the body, which is really dangerous. You just bit my toe. Especially for a kitten when their whole job is to just grow, eat and grow. And if they're eating and not actually obtaining any of the nutrition, they're not growing and they're not going to be having the best start at life that they should or that we want them to have. So how can we stop this? It's hard to say. So the biggest thing that we can do is vaccinate and keep our quarters clean. So making sure that we're cleaning the litter box daily. If there's a lot of kittens or a lot of cats tearing the litter box, that you're emptying out throughout the day so that they're not stepping in more fecal matter and spreading it. Because what happens is they step in the fecal matter that's contaminated with the Coccidia, they groom themselves because they clean their paws, and now it's entering the digestive system. Also, they groom each other. So if one kitten has it and it's stuck to the butt, they're grooming each other, and now they have it in their body. So once I'm done in this room, because I do have other cats in this house and I don't want to spread it to other cats, either my own or into foster care, I will be washing my hands and washing everything that they are touching. And then all the bedding that's in here, so their bed, the blankets on the ground, and the towels will also get cleaned every day or swapped out. Today this bathroom got a nice big deep clean and using vet sanitizer so that they would not continue recontaminating themselves or reinfecting themselves while they are being treated. Coccidia is found a lot of the time just in the soil from other animals. It is not something specific to cats. Rabbits get it, birds get it. I think birds get it. Dogs definitely get it. And so it can just spread in the environment. And like I said, these kittens were found outside. So either their mother had it or they just somehow got it at some point in their first few weeks of life before entering care. But yeah, that is Coccidia. There is probably way more scientific stuff that we can talk about with that. But I thought I would come on and talk about what I've learned, because this is my first litter ever having Coccidia. We've had lots of Giardia and other fecal issues, but never Coccidia. So I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, if you like this video, like and subscribe. It helps the kittens in care, and it also helps me, so I can continue to care for them back. But from myself and the team, thank you.